Hey, this is Sam Black with my second match with Abzan Procession in Standard, and I'm on the draw, and I'm going to keep my hand. I have all of my colors of mana and a hidden stockpile, and I have a Thread Inspector that will let me revolt the stockpile even. The only thing this is missing, kind of, I suppose, is a second white for Gideon, but it's a pretty nice hand. This can be a tough matchup. Motorist isn't great against me, though. Let's see. I think I probably just want to play Catacomb Sifter here. It's either that or Thread Inspector, sacrifice the clue. Actually, that's a little bit better. I want to have another white mana for or another land for next turn. So I have to decide if I want to block if Scrapheap Scrounger attacks here, and it actually looks pretty good since there's not another creature in the graveyard. I guess if I think I might draw planes. Okay, well, now I definitely don't block. Oh, but I do block the Motorist if it attacks. Okay. Oh, that's interesting. So I could write and then cast 2 Sacred Cats. Or I could just play Catacomb Sifter. I think Catacomb Sifter is slightly better. Lets me spend my mana more smoothly in future turns, potentially. Lets me scry when I block. I think I need to preserve my life total here. I don't really need to scry because I have kind of a lot of good business. Oh, Avacyn. That's really bad for me. Probably gonna lose to that. That's really bad against Avacyn. I think I'm basically dead. Well, if anything was going to get me into it, it would be that, but I think it's just a little bit too late. Yeah, I can't really go off with that in any way. I guess I can sack the Scion. I can go Cryptolith right. Okay, so what's the best I can do? Is it just Cryptolithrite, Tap Scion, Sac Scion, Priest, Stockpile? I think that works. And then Stockpile gives me 2 blockers, and I can block with Priest. I'll lose all my stuff, but I'm not sure that I'm dead immediately. Oh, that's really bad. Exiles my priest. So I can't get it back. And I have to block 2 things. Then Avacyn will flip. Yeah, this is over. Obviously I could just not block the Motorist, not flip Avacyn, but I can't win from here. Oh, and my opponent was maybe playing another thing also. Okay. So, bring in Grasp, bring in Swamp. Haven't really worked out the right way to sideboard here. Ocean Making, I'm pretty sure, is too slow, or too painful. I don't think that Sweepers are good against this deck in general. The basic question, I guess, is whether Procession or Gideon is better. Gideon can be attacked, but has a more immediate impact with less setup, and is sometimes easier to play from behind. But Procession kind of requires more stuff going right, and you don't always have time to get it all set up. Historically, I was cutting Gideons, Justin preferred cutting Procession, but I think that I kind of just don't go big enough without it, so I'm just going to cut Gideons, I guess. I've also tried cutting Sacred Cat, but because it's pretty bad, it's very low impact, but I think I just need the blocker to have time to set up. I think the most important thing is really just hoping my opponent sideboards wrong and cuts some amount of pressure. If they do the transformation thing, it helps me a lot. Could try Mysteries here, especially if they go grindy, but it feels kind of wrong to bring in something so slow. But it is good against attacking on the ground. It's weird that I'm tempted to cut a Cryptolithrite for it because they're so good together. Cryptolithrite's kind of bad if they're just killing all my stuff, though. I want to try Mysteries. It's probably going to be terrible here, but I'm going to try it out. This is a really good hand. Playing Stockpile rather than Priest because I want to get 2 stockpiles down next turn when I trigger both of them, and then I can play Priest and trigger them again with the other Evolving Wilds and push the heart at some point, but that's not a priority because I know I can push it eventually and I'm gaining life. Let's get Swamp here because I have Grasp in my deck. Colors don't mean a lot when I have Cryptolithrite, but it's not technically in play yet, although I hope that next turn I can go Cryptolith Right, Anointer Priest, Evolving Wilds, Fatal Push. Just play everything. I'm going to take 5 here, but I'm going to gain 2 on my turn. Whatever. Probably technically worse for the cards in my hand, but since I have Cryptolith Right, it's not likely to matter, and I figure I kind of conceal information on the cards in my hand and how I sideboarded by getting second planes. It's interesting that my opponent left Veteran Motorist in. While in general I think that it's right not to cut pressure, Veteran Motorist really doesn't really count in this matchup. I think the optimal sideboarding from the Mardu side is to cut Veteran Motorist and removal and bring in Planeswalkers. But it kind of depends on what options they have available to them and stuff, certainly. This board is kind of a perfect upkeep scry 1 kind of situation where I don't have a different way to trigger Revolt. I have plenty of mana and I don't have anything else going on. Don't want that. So now the question is whether I keep going. I think the answer is yes. These extra tokens aren't really important, and finding a good card is. Nope, looking for better than that. I think I can afford to lose 1 more creature. I still obviously want plenty of blockers and stuff. Don't want to just throw away all my creatures for nothing. That one is fine. That'll help dig further for next turn. Obviously, I'm not attacking. This is fine. I'm happy with my opponent spending mana to not threaten me. So now we get to scry 1 twice in my upkeep. Per creature. Nope. Sure. Not as good as Procession, but Helps get my engine going bigger. Still no reason to attack here. Just gonna make 3 tokens and gain 3 life. Disintegrate the priest. I guess I might as well scry in response. Plus it stops me from losing life from the disintegration. Come on. Perfect. So now I get a bunch of creatures, then I'm going to be able to play Procession, then flash back and make 4 priests, then make 6 servos, and at the end of all of that I'll have gained 16, and then another a lot of, I think I'll gain 30? 40? 40. Yeah, 10 creatures at 4 life per creature. I guess less than 40 if my opponent interacts, but most likely 40. Obviously I need to trigger Revolt. Oh wait, no, I did the math wrong, because it's only 2 life for, I'm only making 2, not 4 priests. So I'm not getting anywhere near as much. I'm only making 8 creatures at 2 life each. So I'm only gaining 16, so it's not like my opponent's dead. But this is fine. Looks like maybe they're killing a priest. Oh, kind of even worse. I mean, it is even worse. Only at 30, but on my way up. Wonder if I should try to kill Gideon at some point. Let's see, if I kill the knight and attack Gideon with all my servos, that's 3, and the Scion 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. My opponent has 5 blockers, but that involves trading off both motorists. Yeah, this seems fine. Let's kill this thing. Sack this for a mana. Scry, bottom, Pay the mana. Sacrifice this to scry. Bottom. Bottom. I already have that going on. I think I just want to let damage happen here, rather than spending a mana to scry 1 when I already have scry 3 coming. That's kind of tempting. Sure. Kind of banking on that being more scries in a sec. Now my opponent has no hand. We're going to scry 3 times. No. 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 Scry 3 more times. Nope. Yep. Yep. My opponent has 4 blockers. So let's attack Gideon with 5 things. No, my opponent has 5 blockers because Needle Spires. Let's attack Gideon with 6 things. I'm gonna lose all but one of these things, but I don't care about these things. Oh, my opponent only has 5. Scrap Heap Scavenger doesn't count. Oh well. Sack this for mana. Bottom. Bottom. Sack this to scry. Bottom. Bottom. I just want another stockpile or another procession, I think. Another priest is tempting with a procession, but not yet. And there's the procession. Opponent puts 2 on the bottom. Sure, just take it. Play procession. Activate stockpile. Yep. I believe that was my opponent's attempt to eat my clock. Gideon doesn't do anything. Sure. This thing represents pay 2 mana, draw a card for like the rest of the game, so it's fine, especially since I have a ton of mana. Also, my opponent's dead when I attack. Sure, you can have an emblem. You want to attack me? I'll take it all. Okay, well, that worked. So that's, I guess, what Procession does that makes me like it over Gideon. I always cut a Cryptolith because I feel like Mardu is a deck where I don't keep creatures in play a lot, but it's actually really important to doing big stuff fast. And since their best chance is to not have a lot of removal in, I think it's probably wrong to cut it. I'll go to just 1 Mysteries. It's particularly not good on the draw, just because it's a slow card. I could actually cut a land, since I've lowered my curve by cutting Gideons, and I'm bringing in right, and I'm on the draw. It's like a little greedy, just because of colored sources. I could cut Westvale. Westvale is obviously pretty high impact, though. My opponent does have main deck Anguish Unmaking, but you often get in spots where you know they don't have anything. I could just cut, I don't know, like a Shambling Vent or something, or another Plains. I'll just cut another Plains. 24 land on the draw with this curve with 3 Cryptolith right, and all my early creatures should be fine. A little punished in that this hand needs a Plains, a little not punished in that all of these cards would have been in my deck either way. This hand is really good if I draw a Plains, but I don't think I can count on that. I need it like right away. More Westvale Abbeys than I need, but I'll certainly keep this. No. I don't have a way to trigger hidden stockpile if I'm using Evolving Wilds to get white. I don't have any early creatures. Excuse me. So now the question is, do I use Evolving Wilds to get a plane so that I can play stockpile, but then I won't be able to activate the stockpile, but I will have white to do other stuff? I think the answer is yes, I have to do that. The thing about playing a 3-color mana base with 4 Evolving Wilds is that Evolving Wilds is very much part of my mana base, and sometimes I just have to use it as such. So here I can play stockpile or just hold up push. I kind of think it's actually better to just hold up push, which is not usually the situation, but I'm not about to trigger stockpile and I don't really want to take 4 damage for no reason. Of course, sometimes that happens. But it doesn't really matter. The difference is just I would have had a Crypto Thread in play also, but that's unlikely to make a difference. Alright, that's pretty good for me. That's not good for me. That attack was good for me, though. At the end of the day, I'm still pretty far behind this Gideon. Need to draw something that matters. Oh, that's not good. That's their best card against me. That's the real problem one. It's very unlikely that I win this game. Nahiri is the best reason not to have Procession in. Nahiri gets rid of Procession right away, whereas Gideon can just attack Nahiri. The thinking on Procession over Gideon is basically, well, they usually only have around 2 Nahiris, and you basically can't beat it anyway, so just ignore it. Having released the Gremlins in against me is kind of funny. Basically just, I want kill X servos, make X creatures. think I'm still on this horrible plan, which has only gotten worse. So now my opponent's going to double block, and I have to decide if I want to use Fatal Push. So I can Fatal Push to kill both of those, or they could just jump block. It's not an unreasonable decision. So I could sacrifice this to stockpile to get a servo, which is worth a mana, and I don't have to pay to animate Shambling Vine, and it lets me scry. It's weird that that's worth it, but I'm pretty sure it is. That's not very effective right here. Yep. Opponent is getting aggressive here, which is probably right. That was auto life. Dispossess. I don't even know what artifact they think I have. This is the kind of thing that I'm counting on to have a chance in this matchup. Alright, so this thing doesn't even kill Gideon. What am I doing? I'm just attacking Gideon with this, tapping Servo to cast the cat, and having a mana up for Fatal Push. It's not a good situation. Here he exiles my servo. So be it. exiling a tapped servo doesn't really seem as good as exiling hidden stockpile to me. Because there was no real reason to do that before attackers, but yep. Right. Abzan is what I suspected here. 4, 5, 6. Probably have to block. Okay. So I can grasp Abzan, and I can attack Gideon, but the problem is that the heart can block for Gideon, so that doesn't get me anywhere. I can't represent being able to interact in a useful way. Okay, yeah, so that's great. Yep, okay. I'm dead. Tough matchup, and I didn't have enough pressure to threaten the Planeswalkers, which my opponent played, including Nahiri, which is largely unbeatable.